Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into another edition of the Goat Files. And we have got a gentleman who I refer to as the West Coast Warrior, a man who has played 100+ games for his provincial union, Mr. Troy Tauwhare. Good afternoon, Troy. Great to have you on the show.
How you going, Goat? Pleasure to be here, mate.
So, as well as being a proficient rugby player, you're a great man for the thoroughbreds as well, and we'll touch on that as we move through this interview. But we'll start off you with your rugby career. How did the game of rugby, how did it all start for you? Did you start as a young fella running around in the cold of Hokitika in the middle of winter?
Yeah, mate. It was just I've got older brothers. I'm the youngest of five, so I was always around following them. And my mum was a big part of our club, and she's a life member, so all the boys played. And I started playing when I was three, I think, for our local club called Kiwi.
And it's progressed from there, and you obviously played through school. And how old were you when you made your debut for the mighty West Coast?
Yeah, played all my way through school. I was 19 when I had my debut for West Coast.
Yep, so that's about 15 odd years ago now. So it's
Yeah,
been a pretty long and storied career. But as most people know, the Heartland Championship, it's all amateur. So you're not just a full-time rugby player in season. You've got a job to do. You've got family. You've got children to attend to. How does it all work? How do you balance all of that out through this busy time of the season?
yeah, it is pretty busy at this time of the season. It helps having a good boss. I've been with my boss since I've started playing Heartland Rugby, and he's always supported. We've got three players from our work actually, so he's always supported everyone there. And yeah, it is busy. Traveling every second week, so got a good partner that looks after the kids at home, and yeah, that's just makes it a hell of a lot easier when you've got good support around you.
So obviously, it's not the money that drives you to spend 15 years of your prime slogging it out on the rugby field. What's the real motivation for someone like yourself, who, I guess, with all due respect, is never going to play for the All Blacks, but still has a great love for the game?
Yeah, it's just the Heartland Championships. It's got a lot more professional since I first started. I just started playing, and it just went into the Heartland. It was second division and third division back then, but every year it's getting a lot faster and quicker. And yeah, just the love of the sport and the camaraderie. You can't get that really in any other team sport. Well, not that I've played anyway.
You mentioned the game's got a bit faster. I read an article where you talked about the position which you play, which is hooker, has changed a bit too, and you need to be, a lot quicker these days. So you need to keep your fitness right up there. You
Yeah,
do quite a bit of work pre-season and then obviously in the season to stay at that level.
yeah, hookers. Oh, most of the positions have now. They're just a number on the back these days. Everyone. That's not the days. Just props being big props that just scrum and like hookers are like another loose forward now. And yeah, we've got a good local trainer for our Heartland team that keeps their boys on their toes with all the conditioning and stuff.
Well, it obviously paid dividends last year. I think that was the first time West Coast has ever won a trophy of such. I think you won the Lahore Cup, is that right?
Yeah. That's the first ever major trophy the coast has ever won, which was yeah, it's a long time coming, but it was all just good to get that monkey off our back because that was what everyone really talked about every year. They haven't won a championship, so I know it was only the Lahore Cup, but it's still it was pretty important to us, and yeah, it was just a big relief.
Yep. I could imagine the celebrations went long into the night.
Yeah, no, the boys celebrated accordingly. Yeah,
That's good. So we've kicked off this season, and you brought up your 100th game for West Coast. How many other players have achieved that milestone?
we had one other that I played with. He's a Fijian boy. He moved to the coast when he was still at school. Malele Mudu. He played 101 games for the coast and then retired. So this sad day, I'll get one over top of him and it'll be my 102nd.
How good, how good indeed. We might as well talk about that game briefly. You're at home to Horowhenua Kapiti. You've had one win and one loss, but I think doing my form, you've got a few players coming back this weekend. West Coast, I always like last year I was taking a lot of multis. West Coast, the steeplechaser, into West Coast, the rugby team. So do you think, West Coast, the steeplechase, he's been doing the business. You think you could get the W this week? I guess it's another big milestone for you, your record-breaking cap for the union.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is a personal thing, but yeah, for our team, it's a big. It's a short competition. It's only eight weeks round robin, so it's quite a bit of a sprint. So if you lose a couple on the bounce early doors, it makes it pretty tough. So and home advantage is a big thing in this competition. There's a lot of travel for teams, especially going from the other island. There's usually two or three plane trips and then a bus trip somewhere. And so we're back at home this week, and the weather's not looking like it's going to be that great. That might suit us a bit too.
Yep, yep. A bit like the steeplechase, you like a bit of moisture in the surface.
Yeah,
So obviously, besides being a legend of your province, you enjoy the racing side of things, and I think you started following Boys Get Paid on the Facebook group quite a number of years ago now.
yeah, yeah. Me and a couple of the other boys started following probably in 2017 or 18 or something, and yeah, I got a bit of a taste for it. My old man's he's right into the thoroughbred racing, and when I was growing up, that was what was on TV, and yeah, I still remember his phone bed number and account number from him just ringing up all the time, and yeah, so he kind of introduced me to it.
And I think you made your first sojourn from Hokitika up to the Big Smoke in 2019 for the Boys Get Paid function. I think that was the year Volpe Veloce got a good result for the Punters Club that year, and you've been coming every year since, and the number of mates you've brought on the journey with you is sort of multiplied as well.
Yeah, we started with three of us in 2019, and we just had a syndicate going through the year, and that would cover off all our flights, accommodation, and tickets up there and stuff like that. And then the next year we had five, and then the year after that we had seven, and now we're up to I think there's 11 of us.
Would you say it's one of your highlights of the summer to knowing that trip's booked and the anticipation leading up to the day, the boys get pretty amped for it?
Oh yeah, it's probably the highlight of the year really for a lot of the boys. Not getting any younger, but we have like a betting syndicate each year that each week that we put money in and put some aside to into a savings and have turns at having a punt each week. So yeah, it's a good fun all year really.
So this year just gone, 2024, I did notice as Legato got rolled in the 4-year-old classic and 2.5 million went down the drain in the Punters Club, potentially, as it turned out it did.
Yeah.
You and your mates were yahooing to, very happy. Tell us what you did in that race.
Well, yeah, we were meant to have a Quinella with Legato and Desert Lightning, and just how the track was a little bit wet, and horses that were getting back weren't really running on as good as it would in the dry, and so we thought we'd just take a bit of a risk and have a bit of a punt on Desert Lightning to win. I think we got it at $12, so we paid $1,000 on that, which is pretty good.
That's outstanding work. So that obviously got put into the team funds, and I imagine downtown Auckland got a good old toweling up on that Saturday night.
Yeah, it did. That was actually one of the better days that we've had up there. We draw out of a hat who bets on which race, and some races because there's 11 of us, we have to double up. So we had $500 on Bell Clear at $26 too. So
Oh,
it was a good day.
outstanding work. Outstanding indeed. Well, we might be tapping you on the shoulder for a bit of advice next year. What would be your advice to people who are thinking, hey, I've seen this Karaka Millions, I've never been. Hey, I don't live near Auckland. It's a bit of a hassle to get there and everything. What would be your advice to those people? Should they do it or not?
Oh, I definitely do it. We it's always good. We've got people not just from the coast, but in the 11 now, we've got two from Australia that are originally from here, a couple in Christchurch, and it's just awesome weekend to get away with your mates, and the atmosphere up at Ellerslie second to none. Really, it was probably it's definitely the best race meeting I've ever been to in New Zealand, and what boys get paid do for the racing industry in New Zealand's pretty incredible, really.
Well, I thought the time you and I shared a race meeting at Reefton, that was pretty good. The hospitality
Yeah,
was outstanding.
yeah, no, that was a good day, but yeah, it doesn't have the shiny lights like Auckland does.
No, fair enough. No, well, appreciate your time, Troy, and all the very best as you set this milestone on Saturday. Go well, and we look forward to getting some great advice from you at the Cracker Millions next year.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.